So we got to do this right now, Brent. I'm like really ready for you to show everybody.
Not really ready.
I am ready. I am ready, sir, for you to show everybody your dance move. It's the pre-show. As you can tell, we have the countdown going on. My name is Strick, and his name is Brant. All right. So I want to thank everybody for as you log on, or if you're watching this in a replay, thank you so very much for checking out the stream show.
What's up? So you really want me to play this, huh? You want me to cut the audio for it?
Listen, if you can. Yeah. We don't need the audio.
I can cut the audio. Here, I'll cut the audio. All right, so this is a spoof commercial I did back, oh, man, 2000, in the 90s, probably. YouTube wasn't even invented yet.
The 90s was just like last year.
That's true. So this was, so you have to envision this. When kind of the Macs came back, I was young. I was in college. I was studying film production and commercial production. And Return of the Mac just came to me, and I was like, they need to make a commercial. So me and a college friend of mine, we made this commercial, and I've got the sound down. So let me switch my cameras here. All right, you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
There we go. Just imagine Return of the Mac.
Check him out. That is too much. I put some music to it.
There you go. So the funny thing was back then we were just forums, and Apple maybe take it down off their forum due to I was doing something with Apple. And then when YouTube came out, I put it on YouTube, and YouTube took it down, but I made them put it back up because it's a parody commercial protected by the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
Okay.
But they can't demonetize me. They can demonetize every time I play it, but I've had 14,000 views. I've done pretty good over the years. I didn't know it was that high.
That's pretty cool.
I said it was my viral video that never went viral. All right, so
it definitely went viral, and I'm all over the place. But I gotta say, I gotta do this. Let me run down the list, or if you want to run down the list with me.
Yep. Well, what list are we running down?
Our comments. Kombucha says, "Hey, good to see you. Good to see you."
Look at that.
Hey, I didn't hear any music. Oh, I had it down too low. The sound effects down too low.
It down low.
So thank you for.
I heard on my end.
Whoever just liked our page, thank you so very much. When we're live, Brant Collins has actually made this WebM. Did I say that right?
Yes, I made a WebM using Stream Elements. So if you're on our Facebook page and you like us or follow us or do all that stuff, it will show up there. So that's pretty cool.
Big shouts out to Rob. Rob, thanks you. Yes, sir. We are live.
Look at that. Kim Scott calling me a smooth criminal. Or she's talking about you.
Well, I have no idea. But Michelle, thanks for hanging out with us. Mr. Riley, him and his wife, you got to check them out on Friday night. Super funny show. I don't know who 3C's in a pod, who that is, but greetings to you as well. Smooth criminal. She definitely was talking about you. The Beloved Ink Girls, peace unto you, DJ Strick and Brant, and everyone. So much love for those girls. And, there you go. Big shots up to you. Happy Sunday. And then, Rich, hey, fellas. Thank you so very much. And
Be safe in Texas, Rich.
What's going on in Texas? Am I missing something?
I'll tell you later.
Toronto, Canada. I love it. And, yes. Go to the merch store. Tell them about it, Brent, man. They got to get the Stream Show shirts. And
go to the streamshow.live, and our merch show is there. I will put it, store, not show. I'll put that in the comments here just right now.
Thanks for hanging out with us, John, and everybody else is coming on. Man, we got people from Canada. We got people all over the world. We have an international...
You got busted that time.
I've
been watching the time. It's always me. It's always me that messes that up, but I was watching tonight.
This time it was me. I am Strick. He's Brant. We are the Stream Guys, and you're watching the Stream Show. Thank you so very much for checking us out today. We have one thing that we want to do. We want to help streamers succeed. And this show will run down all the ideas, give you some production reviews, give you some product reviews, and of course we have an insert from my guy, Rob Balasabas from TubeBuddy. He will give a YouTube channel review. Brandon, you excited about today's show, man? Are you really pumped about this one?
I am so excited. So let me just one quick to tell everybody that we laughed when the countdown. So if we're using Ecamm, which Ecamm is on what we use to produce the show, and it's on a Mac only. But what you can do is you can stack your scenes, and after the countdown, when the countdown's over, it automatically goes to this scene right here. So we don't manually control that. We could if we wanted to. We try to stick to the time, and we always get caught. So just let everybody know how it works in the background.
So I will tell you this, Brent, I am getting it glitched every now and again from you. So it was just stop. Yeah, it would just stop on your side. But I want to see if I want to make sure it's not on my end as well.
Okay.
So tonight we have we got a great show going on. I really appreciate some of the guys when you say, hey, will you show up to my show? And guess what? The community is so cool. Everybody always says yes. And you can't beat producing a show like this and then having your friends come on to be a part of it. But they're not just friends. They are insanely knowledgeable about the industry, their setups, and more importantly, some of them are also developers. Like, I don't know that many developers. I know Brant is a developer. He develops a lot of stuff, and I don't even know what half the stuff he develops does.
I do websites, but I do not do apps. So it's really exciting here to talk to the gentleman who's made an app to help Ecamm users. I think that's awesome.
So listen, if you're here today and you use the mobile Stream Deck, you use Touch Portal. If you don't know what Touch Portal is, it was at one point one of my favorite mobile devices to kind of get into. Before I actually purchased the Stream Deck, I have the 15-button Stream Deck. And before I purchased that, I wanted to be sure I could use that particular technology with Ecamm, but I went the Touch Portal route first. And I thought that was the coolest thing, to be able to program hotkeys into my iPad, and it worked really, really well. So I want to be sure that we talk about that with the new one that's available in the App Store in our show today. I want to save it so there's a little bit of surprise there for you. So we have some stuff coming up.
Very, very good.
This is what I need, Brant. If you don't mind helping me out with this part, because I am having just a bit of technical difficulty with my speed, and I want to try to do my very best to get all the speeds that we can for this particular show. If you can just give me just a second here, let me close a couple of more things, and I'll actually put you on screen if you don't mind.
Sure. If I know I'm the one, if I'm lagging, my speed should be fine. But if I need to change something, I can. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I just put it in the post. You can go to buymeacoffee/the stream show if you want to buy us a coffee and give us a little support. You can also try Ecamm for free, and I put that link, and I'll have a TubeBuddy link that I will put later. So I am the one talking in the chat for Restream, so I'll try to keep up with everybody that I can. And yes, I got Chris Woods in here saying that one of our guests is from England, so he is staying up very, very late. And Chris Woods is always up late too. So hopefully everything is going well. Everything's straightening out there, Mr. DJ. Do I need to reconnect myself? Let me know. Hello to Fulgence Henry. We got a hello from Atlanta, Georgia. We got a lot of Atlanta people. That's really awesome. And Rob says the stream chat is being monitored by the internet police. Yes. So we are live, and so we're having a few issues right now we're trying to work out. And we got G'day from the land down under. So that's awesome. So we're going on from England to Australia, Canada. We're all over the place. I think a couple days ago we had someone from Singapore. So that is awesome. Hopefully, and Boston. We got some Boston there. Are you feeling better now?
I'm feeling just a little bit better. We're going to see as it goes along how we actually keep up. And it's important on a show like this, because of the guests that we have today, I want to give everybody all the time that we can and have the best connection to show forth what we're trying to do and their products and their setups. And the first person I want to go to today is from over the seas. He's going to tell you exactly what his location is. But I am impressed by this guy. He actually did Vlogmas with us over the Christmas holidays in December, and I was just so impressed with the videos that he put together and did not know he was a filmmaker, but the guy knows how to do films, and he's even teaching it with some courses. So we're going to get a chance to talk to him because he's making a slight transition, and Ecamm is a part of it. So without further ado, I want to bring him on right now. Let me see if I can get to where I need to be. Brent, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So none other than Michael David Roberts. He is here with us. How are you doing,
Hello,
sir?
how are we? I'm good. How are you? You all right?
Listen, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to ask you a question so you can just talk for the rest of the show, because based on your accent, our numbers go up from ratings just by you talking. Like it will have double the numbers just from you being a part of this show. But thank you so very much for staying up pretty late. I know it's 11 o'clock your time, 11.
No, it's just gone midnight.
Midnight. Okay. We won't keep you long, but we definitely thank you so very much for staying up and be a part of this show. I've introduced you as a filmmaker, and you also do tutorials, and you teach people how to do film, and you're also an actor, right?
Yeah, all of those in one. What could go wrong?
It sounds like a lot of fun. With that being said, we've talked, and you're thinking about making a slight transition and adding Ecamm and some streaming into your portfolio of work. How did you come up with that idea? What exactly are you planning?
So I'm Michael. I'm a filmmaker and video coach, and every week since January, I've been creating weekly content. I have my own show called The Slice, where I interview, like-minded filmmakers, people within marketing, or people who have just basically started their video journey by filming on their smartphones. And I just think, I had the pleasure of interviewing Rob just before Christmas. I think it was the 1st of December, and he told me about Vlogmas. And so I kind of got involved on the 1st of December. I literally got thrown into the whole Vlogmas on the 1st of December, and I did every single day, and I was really proud of that. But Rob actually introduced me to the community of Ecamm. And I was really impressed with how everybody comes together, how everybody helps each other, and there's never really a silly question because there's always someone that can help. And I just think that, so many people kind of help each other. I've seen so many nice things being gifted to other people to encourage them to grow their video journey. So I thought, well, I'd like to do that. I'd like to be a streamer, but I just didn't know where to start. And this is day one of me starting my Ecamm journey. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
So
definitely excited.
So let me do this. Mike, as I look at this, and Brant, you're probably catching it as well. There's a little lag here in our connection. And Mike, I really want people to see this the best way that we can. So let me do this. I need to buy us a little time, and it's nothing like live streaming, like you're learning from us right now, Michael, like what could happen sometimes. So hold on just a minute. I'm going to get to this opening scene here, and we're going to work out some of our glitches for real this time. I absolutely feel like a superhero right now, Brant.
You did it.
I fixed my problem, sir. We're back on it. As you can tell, I do have Michael David Roberts on our show. We're talking about how a filmmaker, a actor, an all-around creator is adding streaming with Ecamm to his portfolio of things to do. And we're actually on day number 1. Oh, Michael, tell us about that. Like, how did you get to the point you said, okay, I need to do this? I know I'm doing a lot, but I need to be able to add content done this particular way. What were your thoughts behind that?
I just think when you go live, I think more people engage and you can have that real-time experience with somebody. And I think sometimes, you know, when you pre-record something, you kind of take longer doing it because you can stop and start. I think the powerful thing about being live is the fact that you can interact with people. You can really connect with people that kind of come across you. And I wanted to do it this year. I mean, last year before Vlogmas, I wasn't creating any content. I've got 10,000 subscribers. I've had over 17 million video views on my YouTube, but I never used my account for 3.5 years. And then now I feel like I'm starting from scratch again, you know, in terms of obviously my watch time. I'm trying to grow that again. And I just think with Ecamm, the great thing about that is you can hit, am I right in saying you can hit multiple platforms at the same time? Is that right?
You're able to combine Ecamm with other platforms like Restream, Switchboard, or there's another one, OneStream. So there's other platforms that you can add with it. And Brant, if you don't mind, your mic went down just a little bit. If you could turn it up for us.
Check. How's that?
That's it.
Sound better? All right.
Sir.
Yeah, you can go to multiple locations. Like right now, we're going to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So you can go a lot of places at once.
Yeah, I really do. Go on.
Oh, well, I was going to say, as I worked in TV and production my whole life, and done some film myself too. And one thing about live for me is I call it live to tape. It's, you know, if I think about it and I think about it and I think about it and I change the way I do it, the way I edit, the way I talk, if I just do it live, I just get it done and I'll do a better job.
Yeah. I think that was another thing as well. I think, you know, I spend a lot of time. So I produce 3 videos a week. One's a chat show, and then the other one is valued content. And then the last one of the week is a vlog. So trying to do, you know, 2 lots of editing each week and be a filmmaker and a video coach. You know, I think if I streamed some of those things, especially the show, that it just gives me my freedom back and it gives me my time back, and it's there, it's uploaded, it's done. And I like that rawness about live. I think, you know, it's okay to make mistakes. Like obviously, you know, we've had a few bloopers tonight, but that's fine because that seems to be the style of streaming. So you don't get bogged down in that production value to a degree because you're just getting the content out, and that's what it's all about. Just get the content down, get it out there and get it shared.
Right.
And one of the things with a software like Ecamm, though, is you can play with the lightings, you can play with the LUTs, you can, you know, you can set up your scenes and just try to do the best job you can to make it as highly produced as you want it to be. I'm more, you know, it's like doing live play, right? So you've got to do a live, you got to do your acting, you got to do your scene, you got to play off each other, and sometimes you just get, to me, you get better results live, especially with community. So you got people that will follow you and chat with you and kind of drive the conversation, and that helps a lot.
And then you
Oh
got
yeah,
people from
100%.
all over the world that's engaged in what you're doing, whether it's Facebook or whether it's YouTube. I mean, we have people from, where's that, Mongolia? You know what I'm saying?
Mongolia. There we
That's
go.
pretty cool, you know, to
That is
have.
a
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And of course, we have people staying up because they knew that you were going to be on the show with us today, which
There
is
you go.
also really cool. So while we have you on, you're
Yeah.
streaming right now with us. What's your setup like? Like, what kind of lights do you have? Camera, microphone, all of that?
So I have just a standard microphone. I normally buy Rode. So if I was going to get, I bought this at the start of lockdown. So I just have like a little, I think it's newer. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's a newer from Amazon, which I do buy newer equipment. I've got two LED softbox lights. One with the blue gel to light up my backdrop, and then I've got a separate light just lighting me, and then I've got a desk lamp just giving me a little bit of cover just on the side here.
Gotcha.
But what I like about the light that lights up the backdrop, because it, you know, you can probably see if I took the filter out, you can see how much it brightens up the background. But that's just gel from like a theater, like the theater gel that goes in the lights.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty much just that's all. And then I've obviously got some backlighting just behind me. I got a rock lamp. So it just kind of I'm already bored of my backdrop. Like I'm already thinking of how I can make another backdrop.
On day one, you're trying to get a new backdrop.
Yeah.
And what was your camera again?
Oh, sorry. So the A7 III is what I have. Sony A7 III.
A7 III. He's a filmmaker. He's got the real deal.
What about the lens you're using on there?
At the moment, I'm just using the kit lens because it's the only auto focus lens that I have.
Okay.
But normally I use Samyang cine lenses, manual lenses. But I used to be on a Canon, so I'm literally I bought all this setup just before lockdown, so I'm still transitioning. So there's still loads of lenses I need to get to transition. So I'm just using a Metabones adapter to use some of my old Canon lenses, like my 50 and stuff like that. So bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment, if you've ever come across that.
Yeah, just pull a manual focus, just like you're doing in. You'll be fine, you know. I think usually
I do, yeah. Usually I do, but this one, I never use this lens at all, really. And then just throughout lockdown, I've just found it easy to use because the amount of times I've had to stay still, this just is easy if I'm moving about, that I don't have to worry about the focus.
Right. So tell us a little bit about the filmmaking that you do. You were telling us off on when we were in the green room. You did some comedy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so my company is called Take the Cake Productions, and my YouTube, if I can mention it, is Take the Cake Pro. So I filmed a sitcom set in a funeral director's. It's a British comedy. If anybody likes British comedy, then we've filmed a pilot episode called Morbid, and it's about a brother and sister who lose their parents and they have to run the family business, and they take on Dave and Elric. Elric is this guy here. He's like a new age hippie that thinks he can talk to the dead. And then this guy is Dave. He's like a Jack the Lad kind of character. So I wrote that when I was 19, and then the script stayed in an attic for 10 years. And then in 2017, I started filming it. It took 2 years to film. And I think the episode's been watched by 35,000 people collectively on different platforms.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm posting your YouTube channel in the chat so people
can see Brill, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. That's appreciate awesome. That. But yeah, so so at the moment we are looking to fund a full series that we want to push towards Netflix. But I think we're looking in the region of £400,000, which is a lot of money, especially for something that's independent. So we've written 6 episodes, and that's just like the rainy day kind of plan. At the moment, I'm a filmmaker and video coach, and I work with businesses, and I create promo videos, testimonial videos, and then I coach people on confidence and how to film with their smartphones. So really exciting times, really. I mean, I think I've used this lockdown to kind of learn new skills, and obviously Ecamm and streaming is something that I've kind of put off because there's so many talented people that are doing it. Like yourselves, like Lem. There's so many people that I see week in, week out that just absolutely smash it. And so really, I don't really know what kind of show I could do. Hence why I've just dragged my feet a little bit.
Well, I just want to let you know, you have, a lot of people that are streaming that know how to use Ecamm and know how to stream. They don't know how to do the filmmaking part that you're doing, the lighting,
Right.
the selective shots, the editing, and even just the story. I think one of the things that are lacking, a lot of people can make their backgrounds look good, but they're not making their show. There's not a story. Sometimes I think people stream just to stream. So maybe that would be something you could help people do, because you have that
Stream,
much skill, is to help people develop a story.
I
think you could. I think you could do a live sitcom. You've had 4 or 5 people with Ecamm.
Yeah.
You could probably write a story around that and do a
Probably
live
could, actually. Yeah.
comedy, Among Us type of, spin-off or something. You could really do something fun with that.
I think the possibilities are endless, and I think we're living in a really exciting time with technology that, I think, just streaming in general is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've looked at a few different ones, but Ecamm seems to have the bigger community, the nicest community from what I've seen. And, from the moment Rob added me into the groups back in December, so many people have been helpful. And I don't feel like I've ever asked a silly question, because there's always been someone who has given me open, honest advice, and it's good that I can reach out and be on this show, because it's an absolute pleasure to be here. So thank you.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is day one for you, Ecamm and streaming. Do you have like a question or two that we may be able to help you with?
Not really. I'm pretty sure that if I start streaming in some of the community groups, I think I'll just learn as I go along. I think it's a case of you just learn by doing. But maybe a question would be, what are the things not to do at the start? Or is that list too long?
So no, it's not a long list. It's really, you said what to do, which is, I want to pinpoint that first, which is go into the communities, Ecamm Live community, if you want to do testing. So just go into that community, do all the testing you need. Hey, this is my first stream. I'm doing this. Can you hear me? Do you see this? Great. And that kind of will give you confidence. Stick around as long as you want to testing. And that will give you the confidence, because you can also see that replay and people are there to help you test and answer those questions. What you don't want to do is to not be prepared, of course. If you're testing, that's helping you get to your preparation. All right. So when you go live, you want to be sure you are prepared, because there's always something that's going to happen. You may forget something that you needed to do, turn something off, turn something on. All those things can happen. I always say how you respond is kind of like watching the news and the news anchors. News anchors make mistakes all the time, but you would never know it based on how they respond to the mistake they made. If they mispronounce the word, they go back, or they'll say it right, but it's so quick that it's not like, oh my God, I just made a mistake. Like they're not going to tell you to make, because it could have happened so quickly that you didn't even notice it. But if someone stops and says, oh, I made a mistake, then everybody notices the mistake. Even today, with us having to do some of the behind the scenes work that we need to work on, audience is not even aware of some of the things that we had to do behind the scenes, based on how we were able to just transition to a screen with music, couple of seconds, and then come back to the show. But nobody knew what we were doing behind the scenes. It's that kind of thing that I think separates good streamers from people that are still trying to work it out. Wouldn't you say so, Brant?
Yeah, and the only thing I would say not to do is to get caught up in that filmmaker attitude of, and not a bad attitude, but and when you're making a film and you're doing stuff, you're trying to make it perfect, and you want to go back and take another take and take another take. think of this, think of streaming live as a no budget film, right? You got to set up the shot, do the best you can, and set up everything to where you're happy with. But when you press the live button, you're going, right? There's no, we're not stopping and starting. So, trying to reference it back to, like, you've probably worked on when you did your film, the budget, you had a certain budget. And if you have to know when enough's enough, right? I think what a good director can say is that was good enough. We're not going to do this 50 more times and make it better. That was great. Moving on, so if you use that same kind of mentality live, you'll do fine.
Sure. Yeah. And I think also, I mean, I got Ecamm Today. So I had it downloaded, I had the trial, and then it expired. And then I thought I'll get round to that. So I bought it today, and I literally went live this morning, and half an hour just went like that. I was like, I was on for half an hour. That was, but then I was literally, I think it's the acting side of me. I don't know when to shut up, and I'll just keep talking. So I think in terms of that prep, I used to do community radio. So I know about that radio silence. So as long as I'm talking about what's going on in my head and what I'm doing on the screen, and taking people through that visual journey of what you're doing, that is content. That is content, so it might not be content that you'd planned, but it's still taking people through that journey, and it's creating that curiosity of what is he doing. So, I think in terms of that, I think I'll be okay. It's just like I looked at it today, and I couldn't get comments up, and I was like, so this little box is for comments, this little box is for text, and I was figuring it out quite quick. But I was thinking, how can I read the comments coming through? And I had to look at my phone to get the comments. So there's, and you guys probably know all how to do all of that. But I suppose that journey of learning something new is quite exciting, because I was there for half an hour, and I was just getting really excited, going, oh, it does this, it does that. And I literally got my phone up at one point. I couldn't get it off, but I got it up.
It is really cool. There's a lot of options that you can use Ecamm to do as far as connecting phone, multiple cameras. So all the cameras that you got, load them up on your machine, see how many you can put on at one time. It's a cool journey to be in right now.
I have got one question, if you could help me. So in terms of, obviously, we had issues with lagging and stuff. Do I need to be like connected by cable, or can you do it through Wi-Fi? What is the best recommended way to do it if you are going to be streaming? Cable,
and get as much upload speed as you can get. So I'm sitting about 11 or 12 upload. Anything above 3 megabytes up megs up is good. That's probably 3 would be the bare minimum. So download speed is great, but you really need that upload speed because you're pushing it out.
Right. Okay.
So, and wired. He said wired, and that's really the key. You don't want to take any chances with a Wi-Fi connection.
I know. Yeah, because I think my router, I say router, but we won't get into the whole garage and garage conversation. Everyone's like, what does that mean? But I know that my router downstairs, how I would get a cable up, I don't know, but someone suggested maybe you can plug you can get like a plug that plugs in upstairs, then you can put the cable in or something. Is that an option?
There is something that you can plug into your wall that will turn your electrical system basically
into the
conduit.
So someone mentioned that.
Wall, and then plug the other end in your room that you're in, and then run the cable. Or just take out a handy dandy drill and drill some holes and run a wire.
I could do that, or hire someone to do that. Maybe probably break something in the process.
But yeah, any way you can get a hard line is the best. Because it's not. Wi-Fi is great and speeds are great and wireless is great, but someone hits your Wi-Fi, there's lag. I mean, there's all kinds of different issues. There's too many your cell phones using it, and someone in your apartment is, there's interference and stuff like that. So I don't know if you use wireless mics when you're filming, but that can happen with wireless mics too, right? You're just getting weird, wonky signals. So try to do that. And then I would just reach out to somebody like Chris Wood. He's over there in your neck of the
Yeah,
woods.
he
And
has. He has suggested he'd help me at some
yeah,
point. But we'll
yeah,
catch up at some point, and definitely, yeah. But that's the
yeah.
great thing about the community. There's so many people willing to help, and
That's
I
true.
think I've kind of took a step back since Vlogmas because I'm like, where do you start? You know, and obviously, you know, I think like as you said before, as a filmmaker, I'm thinking, well, you know, if I'm going to do something, it has to be right. Um, but no, obviously taking on your comments tonight, it's like no, just press record and go for it. Just go
Yes.
The
for it and
biggest
do
thing that
it.
I did Vlogmas as well every day with my phone. I did it all on my iPhone, edited on my iPhone to prove a point. Then I didn't do anything after Vlogmas until Strick asked me to do this show. So one of the things that will help is just pick a time. You're gonna go. We go live every Sunday. Family knows. You know, I know. Strick knows. Just set. I don't care when you do it, but just set that time that you're gonna go live every night and just kind of get yourself in the habit of doing it. And my other question was gonna be kind of like your script. How long did you say your script stayed in your attic before you made the production?
10 years.
And why was that?
It was my rainy day. It was
Yeah.
something I thought, right, one day, because I wrote it in 2007. And,
Okay.
you know, cameras like, you know, Sony cameras and Canons and DSLRs, that whole generation wasn't there. Twitter wasn't even invented then.
Gotcha.
So, affordability on equipment just became readily available, you know, a few years later. You know, when I wrote it in 2007, it was a case of you go to the BBC, and if they say no, then that's it, it's over. Whereas now you've got the likes of Netflix, Amazon, you know, there's other streaming, like Now TV, you know, there's loads of streaming companies now which will take content. So all I have to do is film it to a high standard and distribute it. That's all I have to do. But then it's who's going to give me £400,000? So although it's still hard to get a show filmed, produced, edited, and distributed, it still comes down to, well, once we've got the money, that's the hardest part to get. And once we've done that, we can then, you know, film the series and get it put out there. And I do believe it has got a very good following. It's a very cult following, but it's got something. And I knew it had something when I wrote it, and not because I think I'm the great writer in the world, because I'm not. It's definitely got a lot of errors in it, you know, but I knew it had something, and I didn't just want to film it with what I had in 2007.
Gotcha.
And I
Well,
waited.
Here's my challenge to you.
Yes.
I'm a filmmaker. I did some short films back in the day during the 48-hour film festival, and I kind of dropped the whole filmmaking thing. Same way you said, I did it back in 2007. Things were expensive. You didn't have the distribution. But that said, I would love to watch your stream show if you're going to talk about and document this process, because I want to learn
That
more
could be
about
the
the
great way.
process.
Yeah.
Right? I want to
Yeah.
know.
Well,
You know, I want to know who are you talking to at Netflix? How many times you're getting rejected, or what cameras you're choosing, why you're choosing those cameras. I mean, so that whole concept, and that could also be raising money the whole time, because your fans, the people that are watching and chatting with you, will give you some money and help you reach that goal if you bring them in. I think that
yeah,
would.
I think you've got a brilliant idea there, actually. I think that's a really good idea, because at the start of the year, I obviously had my content for YouTube, but then, you know, I was missing out Morbid and thinking, well, what can I do with Morbid? And then I thought, well, I'll do another vlog for Morbid. But then I was like, well, I don't want to do 2 vlogs each week, and I don't really want to combine it as much. I mean, I do mention it in my weekly vlog, but not as much. I mean, it needs its own kind of separate entity. But I definitely think what you said there is probably a good step forward, because Morbid is very separate to my business that pays my bills, that actually, you know, the stuff that I go out to do, I have to obviously work with businesses. Last thing they want to know is why you're filming a sitcom. It confuses them. So I keep it quite separate to a degree, although it is part of my business. It's the future goal. I want to be a TV production company, but at the moment we're a video production company which works with small businesses and corporate businesses creating video content. So until we've got Morbid off the ground, we can't really change to what we want to be, which is a TV production company.
I
So
absolutely love it, Michael.
thank you.
Listen, we could talk all day about this stuff.
We
Brent and
could,
I
or
are
all night,
so,
because it is
yeah, all
midnight.
night. In your case, if people are hearing what you're doing as a filmmaker or a video content creator, you have courses, you have a TV show. They want more information about you. If they do, how can they get in contact with you?
Best way, I mean, my website links to everything, which is takethecakeproductions.co.uk. And that links to my YouTube, my Vimeo, my Twitter, Instagram, everything, Facebook. Or they can add me on Facebook. takethecakeproductions.co.uk, or add me, Michael David Roberts, on Facebook.
Well, there you go. Thank you so very much for coming to
My
the Stream
pleasure.
Show
Thank
and
you.
hanging out with the Stream guys, and for sharing all your wisdom, and for pressing the button today to get started with Ecamm. Congratulations
It's
to
good.
you.
It was
No,
nice to
thank
talk
you
with
so much. Yeah, thank you both for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for listening.
Hey, Brent, man, we're rocking right along with this show. Like, time is just moving on us. We could have kept going with Michael and talking about Ecamm, how he's streaming, and all the other work that he has, but we have other guests.
We got to get to it. And just so you know, I put the takethecakeproductions.co.uk in the comments. So take a look at his stuff. I think it's really interesting. And I'm going to personally reach out to him and talk more about, you know, I think there's something there. Ecamm and live streaming and production and movies. I mean, maybe we need to do a buddy cop film. What do you think?
There you go. There you go. I mean, I'll be the bad cop. I think I could do that. What do you think?
You're the Denzel Washington.
Did he ever play a cop movie? Training Day. Yeah. He said a couple of words I can't repeat, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
Let's do this. Let's continue. Today, the topic of the show is talking about mobile controllers for Ecamm. Like there's controllers like Touch Portal. There's controllers like the mobile Stream Deck that you can use and download from the App Store. And then there is an Ecamm controller, ELMC. So I found this controller and actually searched who the developer was. I'm like, man, who actually did this? And I found the guy on Facebook. We had a chance to talk a little bit, and I said, hey, me and Brent Collins are doing a show. We would love to have you on and kind of expose you to our complete network and audience of people and talk about your developed app that you did. Let's talk about it. So, Brent, if you're ready, I want to bring him on.
I'm ready.
So right now, without further ado, I want to bring on Jerry Seigle. He is an app developer who actually developed an app that can control Ecamm. Jerry, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thank you for having me on the show.
No problem, man. Thank you for being on the show. And, man, this is awesome that you would actually take the time to be here with us. Can you tell us about the app that you developed?
Yeah, so the app is ELMC. It's basically an app that will allow you to control your Ecamm live show, pretty much with ease. So it's an app that I created back in late October of 2020. And I was inspired of creating the app. I just became a new Ecamm Live user back in August, and after becoming that, I joined onto the community, the Facebook group community, and there was a show that always came on Fridays. I believe it was called Pay the Way Forward or something like that, by Mr. Frank, and I saw a gentleman on a Friday night, and he had a controller that was actually controlling Ecamm Live, and I posted. I said, "What was this? What's the name of the controller?" Because I was actually looking for something myself, and I didn't get a response. So I immediately started searching the App Store for Ecamm Live, trying to find the name of this app. And someone said, "Hey," they posted back and they said he was using Touch Portal. So basically, what ended up happening is I took and I tried to use Touch Portal, and I loved the app. And then I started searching up for alternatives, and I ran across the Stream Deck mobile app. And I used that for a while as well. And there were some things that was lacking. Now, I love both of those apps, but it was some things that was lacking that I was hoping to find something that was very easy to use without, having to do a lot of setup. And for that reason, I created the ELMC app, an app that will allow you to control Ecamm Live with minimal setup.
Now, was this your first app you've ever made, or you made apps before?
I have made other apps before. Most of the apps that I've created, was basically simple musical applications like foot controller applications. But I've made another application that was also for Ecamm, and it was a MIDI controller application. So currently, those are the two applications of focus that I have right now.
Awesome. So how long have so you were just an Ecamm user that seen a problem and you wanted to fix it, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. So what do you have a show that you actually produce yourself?
I don't have a show that I produce myself. I originally started using Ecamm during the pandemic. I'm a church guy, and our church was looking for a solution to stream services. So we defaulted to Ecamm Live. So Ecamm Live has pretty much been a part of me since 2020.
Awesome.
How about you, Strick? You had some questions? I know you've used a lot of the mobile apps.
I have. I actually, Jerry, just like you, went down the route of trying to find an application that I could use, and I really did like Touch Portal. What do you think the difference is in your app and what's available out there through some of the other Touch Portal or Stream Deck? What makes your controller different?
Yeah, so the first thing that should stand out for anyone that uses our app is the fact that you're able to get started with very minimal setup. Of course, with the Touch Portal and the Stream Deck mobile app, you have to download like an extra piece of software onto your computer, and then you have to literally set up how you want to. You have to set up your layout, how you want the application to look. And with our application, it's simple. You just simply download it from the App Store. You make sure that you're connected to the same Wi-Fi as what Ecamm Live is using, or network. And basically, it just works out of the box. You don't have to set up anything other than making sure that your Ecamm Live is organized.
That's really cool. So could you show us a little bit of that now? Could you demo some of that for us? Because I know we have people on that are watching that absolutely are always willing to try something different. So I want to see what you have.
Okay, yeah, sure. Right. Okay, so are you able to see my screen?
Not yet. It's not coming through. I'm still seeing you.
Okay.
All right. See if I can get this to change just a little bit here. He's frozen. It looks like I'm frozen as well. Okay.
No, you can't switch?
Nope. Okay. Okay. There we go.
There we go. I'll just
So,
real quick.
Yeah, he's coming back over there, but go ahead, Brent.
Okay. Well, while you're working on that, one of the things I did is I downloaded the app and I played with it just before we came on air. It is $1.99, which is great because I want to support him for what he does. And I have my Mac Mini M1 hardwired to my router, and I have my phone going over Wi-Fi. I was confused, like, is that going to work? It did. It just worked. It found the Mac. It has all of my scenes listed in it. I'm sorry, don't have my phone set up. I think he's going to show us some of that. But if he can't do that, I can probably do that while we go to him real quick. But it just kind of shows all your scenes that you've made, and you can click right through them. It's really, really easy to use and really great.
Absolutely love it. Let me see if I can get him back now so we can see Jerry's setup. Jerry, if you're ready, I'm coming back to you now so we can see it. Now, I have you on screen, and you were going to try to do a screen share one more time?
Yes.
I think I see it here. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to put this screen on Michael, and I'm going to go to here so we can see that. There we go.
Awesome.
There you go.
So basically, once you connect to the same Wi-Fi network, everything that you have organized inside of Ecamm Live, it's just going to pretty much just show it here. And I'll just kind of show you my kind of what I have here into my Ecamm. So as you can see on the screen, you can see where I have like my scenes and the different items and folders and things like that. And the application, it basically mirrors over whatever's inside of Ecamm Live. So for an example, if I wanted to come here and select this folder, it will actually show you, all of the scenes that are inside of that folder. So if you want to trigger one of those scenes, you can just select one of those scenes, and it's going to trigger it inside of Ecamm Live.
Wow.
Another thing that I love as well is that with the touch portal and the Stream Deck, they kind of have like a grid view with pads, and we have that as well. All you do is you turn the application and you turn your phone in like landscape mode, and you kind of get that Stream Deck
Cool.
touch portal look.
Is that new?
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yes, this is a new feature that was added in our latest update. So yeah.
Nice.
That's really cool.
That's crazy.
So show me what else that you have here, because it looks like there's some volume control on it as well.
Yeah. So of course, when you're playing, like when the show started, you had music here, and someone else may be in the same situation to where you have a show and you kind of have like music that's playing, and you want to be able to just adjust your volume or stop the actual sound. You can do that easily by just dragging over the slider. You can actually stop the sound by just pressing. The app is pretty much self-exploitable. So what you see is it's gonna do exactly what you see.
I like that.
Yeah.
So with this app, Jerry, this is something really cool, and it's new to a lot of people. So people are going to rush out and get this app. All right. I want to tell you this. They're going to rush out and get this app. What can you show? I want to go back to the screen that was on. Could you show at least the name of it and the front screen so they can see the logo that you have, so people are knowing they're getting to the right one?
Yeah, so
There you go.
Where is that?
actually we'll open up the App Store. And you can just type in ELMC.
There it is.
It's the only app.
There it is. I love it. I love it. So, of course, there's Touch Portal. Of course, Stream Deck has a mobile one, but there is another one. And Jerry is the developer for this particular app, ELMC, for Ecamm Live. And it's a mobile switcher that you can have on any iOS device. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
That's cool.
I just put that
man.
into the chat.
That's cool, man. We met, was it a couple of months ago now? that I reached out to you because of what I saw, and getting a chance to actually meet the developer. Do you have other apps that you developed, or is this something that you honed in on, that you saw a need and you say, hey, I want to do this particular thing?
Yes, I do have another app. It's specifically for Ecamm as well. It's called ELMC MIDI, and it's for the musicians that are, if you're a musician and, you have to run like a live stream or something like that, it's kind of hard to be in two places at one time, trying to run the actual stream and, sing or play whatever you do. So I created an application for Mac, and it will allow you to control Ecamm using MIDI. So it's kind of similar to this application here, but it's more for the musicians.
So what would you do with that, Jerry? I mean, you're MIDI, in my mind, we're talking about MIDI controllers. So it would be other touchpads or keypads. How would that work?
Yes. So for an example, this is a Novation. I don't know if you can see this. It's a Novation.
Yeah.
It's the Launchpad Mini.
Right.
So you can have like a MIDI controller like that there, and you can actually control Ecamm Live. You can customize your MIDI controller to control Ecamm Live.
I like it, and that's for a lot of us, we understand hotkeys and how hotkeys work, but you wouldn't need a hotkey. You can just program those buttons to do whatever you wanted them to do.
Correct.
Okay, I get it.
Get your keyboard out.
I know it, right? I'm just
keyboard.
All I think about is myself singing, but we could do so much more than that.
Yeah, when I think MIDI, I think about all that.
Yes, actually, and one of the beta tests for that app there, we had a music teacher that found use for the application, where they were teaching lessons using streaming through Ecamm Live. So they actually used the application to make switching very easy for them.
Wow. Listen, there's nothing. The best products, Jerry, are products that solve a problem. And it looks like your product does solve a problem, and people should go out and get it. Again, it is ELMC for Ecamm. You can find it in the Apple App Store. Download it. When should they download it, Jerry?
Download it now.
Go get it right now. Go get it right now. This has been awesome, man. So thank you so very much for coming with us. If you don't mind hanging out, we got another segment, but we're going to end with someone I do want you to meet. So if you don't mind hanging out with us just for a little while longer, we have some more people in our community that I would love to introduce you to. So thank you so very much, Jerry Seigle. Thank you. Brant, man, you've had some incredible people come through the show. This is something that's pretty nice to be able to have an app developer come through.
Can I give you a little a tip though?
Yes, sir.
Live streaming tip.
Yes, give me a tip.
Don't play with the app during the show. So I'm sure you heard some music come through.
Right. That's
playing
funny.
With the app.
Listen, it works. We already know it works. I've had
work.
it for a while, and I've downloaded it when I first got introduced to Jerry. Now, of course, I do have a Stream Deck that I use, and of course, I have a mouse that I use, but I also have the ability to be able to use this. Now, we do buy me a coffee. We do all kind of support. We buy each other's T-shirts. I really wanted to support Jerry and his product. Does that make sense?
Because I have an old Mac, an old iPad mini, like a small iPad, and I'm just going to go charge it, update it, make sure it's all up to date, and download this, put that app on there because I like using my iPad. I mean, nothing against the Stream Deck. I don't have a Stream Deck, but I mean, if I already have a device and it can do it, this is $1.99 a month, and if I'm helping him out, that's awesome.
That's
right?
awesome. Listen, our girl Kathy already downloaded it. Big shouts
Very
out.
cool.
Listen, I love our audience, man. They really move with us. So thank you for doing that and supporting him. And I know several other people that have already downloaded and start to work with it. And it's a level of support for a developer in our community. And there's some use cases for us as well. especially when
support.
you move it horizontal and you got buttons just like the Stream Deck Mobile.
And that's one thing. And this is what's awesome, because I know when we were talking about it, I was playing with it, and I told you, I said, man, I just wish it had some buttons, and I didn't know I could flip it to the side. So he'd already 3 steps ahead of us. So, Jerry, that was awesome.
So if you're out there and you're watching our show tonight, the Stream guys want to help you out. We have in the description of this particular show, go in there, a free trial of Ecamm Live. So if you're not using Ecamm Live, I don't know why you're not. Everything you see us doing tonight is done with Ecamm Live. Now, it may not be done to the best of my abilities. We're working on that, but you can actually get started with Ecamm with our free trial just by clicking that link.
And I just put it in the chat, so you guys can click on that. Try it for free.
There you go. So let's do this. I want to move on to our next section. We have, man, one of the coolest guys in our community. We get to have him on our show every week. Rob Balasabas is the branding manager from TubeBuddy, and he's doing YouTube channel reviews. He does them so well, and he does them every week with us. So I want to go ahead and get that part going. And this is an interesting channel for us. And of course, we started earlier this year, Brant, and asking people to send us their channels. And we're going through the list of people that send them. So if you want your channel reviewed, all you have to do is go to thestreamshow.live and submit your channel to be reviewed. It is all automated for us. You go on the list, and then we're just knocking them down as we go.
That's right. And I put the link in the chat. I've also put the link for TubeBuddy. And who doesn't like to say Rob Balasabas?
Balasabas. Right. Who doesn't like to say that? Again,
right.
Really cool guy. And I love having him on the show. And we're going to get his TubeBuddy review right now.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rob Balasabas here, Partnership Manager at TubeBuddy. Really excited to be here with you guys today. I've got an awesome channel that Strick and Brant have given me to review from the community. I think you guys will learn a lot. This is a musician channel, so I think you guys will learn, especially if you're a musician or if you're working with musicians. But regardless, I hope that you guys can take something away from today's review to apply to your own channel, and so that we can all level up as content creators here on YouTube and using videos in general. So again, big thank you to Strick and Brant for giving me a little corner of their show each week to share something with the community. So with that being said, let's jump into today's review. Let me share my screen here, and you guys are gonna meet Jim. So JQ. So the first thing I wanna say is that Jim has incredible music. He does live streams about, basically it's a concert, and so people can tune in. From what it looks like, he is multi-streaming to Facebook and also on YouTube, and he's got a really good sort of setup where people are sending, donations and tips and things like that, which I love. I'm all about creators making money from their content, artists making money and getting paid from the art, their craft. And so this is awesome. So I love that. I watched a couple of Jim's live streams here and just enjoying his music. So Jim, thank you so much for putting this out there. The first thing I want to share is your thumbnails. The thumbnails here are, there's a lot of text happening here in the thumbnails. So I want to make sure, Jim, make sure that you just create custom thumbnails for each show, all right? Make sure that you do that. I like that you have the names here. This is kind of a really good approach, letting people know that have donated, I believe, or maybe, contributed to that show, made some requests. And so, these are your supporters, it looks like, which is, I think is good, but I think you can put that into the stream, maybe give them a shout out at the end or during, but I don't think it necessarily has to be in the thumbnail unless that is the expectation from your audience. All right, so make custom thumbnails. The text is really small, so I would suggest making something a little bit different there, and saying like live and maybe the date that you went live. Maybe a couple of the songs that that you sang, because it is a really long stream each week. All right, so some of these streams are over 4 hours long. Most of them actually are over 4 hours long. Also, Jim, try to use a different photo of yourself each thumbnail. I know that most of these are different, but they are very similar. I think there's a screen capture. So try to use a different photo each week, just so people know that, hey, this is a different one. Hey, this is not the same one that I caught 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or last week. Okay, make sure that each photo kind of stands out a little bit, all right? The next thing I want to jump into is your playlist. Make more playlists, Jim. So make more playlists. The reason why is so that on the homepage, when I go to your homepage, I only see your recent uploads or your recent streams, right? So your last 6 streams. Now, I know that you have way more because you have so many videos here, right? You have plenty of videos here. And so make more playlists so that we can go in and add more sections to your homepage or your home tab on YouTube. That way, when people come into your channel, they can see, hey, Jim has a bunch of videos. I'd love to check out one of them. Now, without a really distinct thumbnail or a different title, it's hard for me to decide which one I should check out, unless I really know you. So, I want to check out this video from 3 weeks ago. You want to make sure that, again, coming back to the thumbnail, all right? The next thing, Jim, is your social links on your banner, okay? Usually you can put in, I'm going to pull my little marker here. You can put links here and you can add them to your banner that people can click on, right? So you can put in, your website, you can put in your Venmo or support, your Patreon or PayPal, ways that people can support you. So you can put that here and you can put links here that people can click on, and it's gonna be really easy for them to find that, okay? Also on the banner here, while we're on the topic of the banner, I like the banner, I love the font, really matches your branding. I like that it's very easy, like, hey, Jim is a musician, he's got his microphone, everything here. I would love for you to just add when you are going to be going live, because from what it looks like, you go live pretty much every single week. So make sure that you put live here, live every Saturday at, this time, or live every week, right? Live concert every Friday, whenever it is that you go live every single week, try to do that. And then the last thing, Jim, this is just my own recommendation, but I love your content and I love the way that you run your show. So if there's an appetite from your audience, maybe for you to run some tutorials, I think that would be really fun. For you to have a playlist where you show musicians how to do what you're doing, because this is a common thing that comes up a lot when I talk to musicians trying to use YouTube. How do I use YouTube as a musician? This is where Patreon was birthed out of, right? Helping musicians and creatives make money from their art. And so I would love for you to teach people how you're doing your live streams, how you're doing your cameras, how you're connecting all your audio and video, how you're setting up, all of the live chat and all that stuff. So that's just my recommendation. That's just sort of a personal wish from me for you to do that. But otherwise, this is a really awesome channel. Keep on going. I know that it looks like you're doing Facebook and YouTube, so that's fantastic. So yeah, just keep on going. Hopefully that advice helps. And if you have any questions, Jim, reach out to me directly. Happy to connect and give some advice there. All right, so again, guys, wrong camera there, but there it is. Thank you again, Strick and Brant. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, you gotta love Rob Balasabas from TubeBuddy, and big shouts out to Alicio Way for those overlays he was using. I can't say it enough. Alicio, it helps everybody, including our overlays. So shouts out to you, Alicio Way. Did you learn anything from that one, Brant? I
did. I need some TubeBuddy gear. Come on, Rob. I need some TubeBuddy swag. I need that TubeBuddy hat or you got TubeBuddy in the background, all the lights. But no, I think Rob does a great job in letting everybody know, what they can do just to level up and, kind of, and that's what TubeBuddy does. It takes what you have and it just helps you optimize everything. And, we need that help. Everyone needs a little bit of help to optimize a little bit more. And Rob's giving you those tips free.
So I have one takeaway, which is I need some more photos. I have to get some more photos. He was mentioning in that one to use different pictures, and I probably use all the different pictures that I have. And then I know it may be difficult for you. I've heard every time you take pictures, you break the cameras, Brant. Like, what's going on with that?
No, I mean, I think we all do. I think the hardest part, even on our show, we've not done what the best we can with all of our pictures and all of our. It just gets busy. You get so busy, and TubeBuddy does help you do that faster. But you know, something I learned today. I was reading or listening to a new audio book. One of my heroes is Seth Godin, and one of the things he talked about is chopping wood and hauling water. It's just doing those tasks that you don't want to do, but you just got to do them every day and get them done, and that will help you move forward. So don't worry about it. Don't fret about it. Just keep chopping the wood and hauling the water and do those thumbnails and A/B testing and keyword searching and just keep moving forward.
You know, I actually keyword search for our titles for the show.
You do.
It's difficult, but, you know, I try my best. I'm not the best at it. I'm still learning TubeBuddy, but I try to go in and think about the combination of words for the titles because even a live stream can actually be searched. So, you know, you just never know, right?
Right. You just got to do the due diligence, you know. I think forever when I was using YouTube, you know, in 2006, it was just a place to hold my videos. It could have been video one. You know,
right.
Test 1, test 4. You know, I've got a lot of those out there.
So if we got people out there that are listening to us about TubeBuddy and they don't have it, guess what? Links are already in the comments and in the description below where you can actually get you can do the trial or even do the free version to at least get started with some of the tools that TubeBuddy provides. So we want to make sure that you take the offer that we have in our links. Again, you did put that in the comments. There you go. Brent's always on top of it.
I'm on top of it.
So without further ado, I want to keep going. We like doing production reviews, and man, I have somebody that I absolutely love this on the show tonight. In the Let's Get Live community, there are tons of people with big personalities, but this guy has a huge heart with his personality. He always wants to help. He talks about the giving economy, and man,
if it wasn't for this guy, me and you wouldn't be doing this show.
We would not be doing this show right now. That is the truth. If it wasn't for Lemuel, we would not be doing this show. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on. Lem, I hope you're ready for us. How are you doing, sir?
You know, I realize the longer you wait, the more nervous you get.
Do you? Why?
I was ready.
Why are you nervous over there?
Dude, I just go, you know, when you're doing live streams, you just go. I'm 120 miles an hour ready to jump start everything that I'm doing. And you're waiting there listening for everybody, and you're like, okay. But I'm pumped to be here. That's part of the nervousness, right? Being pumped to be here at the stream show with Brant and Strick. What's up? What's good? Come on, everybody.
I know it, man. We're so
excited.
Happy to have you on the show today.
I'm pumped, y'all. I'm pumped.
One of the reasons why I have you
What's
here,
up?
I know you have you're streaming all over the place. You're streaming like literally on Amazon Live. I don't know how often you do
Yes.
that, but I know you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're inside of several groups going live. Man, you have a lot of experience with this, but I would really like to see your production setup so we can kind of talk to people that are using Ecamm, what you have, how you use it, and we can help some other people level up tonight. So I'm actually going to put you full screen here and go through your setup.
Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. And thanks, Strick and Brant, for inviting me to be part of the show tonight. And appreciate you guys hanging out, letting me hang out with you guys. And Jerry,
wait, Lim. Is something moving in the background? You got you have a slider back there?
Yeah, man. You know,
cool.
we extra.
I love it, man.
He's got one of his kids working.
Right.
Yeah. I got 4 of them, so one of them need to be paying for the mortgage in some way.
Right. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I am pumped to be here once again. I gotta meet up with Jerry, and of course Michael, just a fantastic dude. Enjoyed his videos during the Blogmas season, and we're actually trying to get together so that I could be on his show. So that's gonna
cool.
be fun. Yeah. So I got the slider, man. I got the slider back. I think in December or November, just to put a different angle on it. You know, when you're part of the Ecamm community and part of the Let's Get Live crew, you get a little bit, of gas. Let's just be honest, right?
Right.
You get a little bit of gas, and also you want to look and you want to bring a little bit of different flair to your scene, so that you can kind of stand out from the crowd a bit. And also outside of that, you want to also amp up and bring about some type of level up encouragement to other people, so that they can see, hey, I can do these things and it's not that expensive, So we have a little bit of a background shot, and I'm doing that just so that we can talk a little bit about my setup here. And like you said, I go live on Amazon. That's something that I've started in December, just during the Christmas season. And we go live on Amazon. Amazon Live, Amazon.com, the place for online shopping, actually has a live platform for influencers like myself, like ourselves, to actually engage the audience there right as they are buying or right as they are considering their purchases. So I came in there through my meme work, through my photography memes work, because I do memes for photographers, and that's how I got the influence that I have over in Facebook and also on Instagram. And I just really dove in with the mindset of helping photographers kind of level up and also bring in professional photographers. So in fact, this coming Tuesday, I have a professional photographer, an equine, I don't know, a horse photographer is coming on the Amazon Live show that I'm doing at 3 p.m. She's from Germany, so it's going to be some fun stuff. It is fantastic. Professional of highest calibers photographers are coming into that show at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys see it here, Merch for Togs is actually the store there. But if you want to, you can just go shop.lemdrops.com. shop.lemdrops.com, and you'll be there on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and I'll be there with Miss Jennison, Cora Jennison. But anyhow, I was really there to promote and to bring some of the peers that I work with or that are following my meme work, the pro photographers, and to bring them into live streaming, because I realize in that space, even though we all have professional gear, most of the people are just using their phones or they're using their HD cameras on their laptops or on their iMacs. And I'm like, dude, you guys have already the gear that can really up the level of your production if you would know how to apply these things and if you would learn how to do these in a more consistent and a great way. So, when the pandemic hit and I got into Ecamm, I got into Ecamm because I wanted to use my pro photography gear. And for those that do not know, I've been a pro photographer since 2015. And so, I've been going live with just my phone, and I have all this pro gear in my house, and I'm like, it's time to level up. I've been doing it for about a month or so on the phone, and I have all this gear. I'm wondering how I could connect my gear with my computer and be able to stream in such a way that my imagery actually reflects not only my gear but my abilities and my desire to actually level up in my imagery. And so I was looking around and I realized that the Camlink that at that time that actually interfaces, that uses as an adapter for your DSLR or mirrorless camera to go and be read by your computer, was being sold for like $600, $500. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. So I was looking around, and I stumbled onto Ecamm, and it's the same week that Ecamm updated to allow DSLRs and mirrorless to actually talk to the computers via USB. And I was like, I am in. I tried out the trial in the next 3 hours, and I went right ahead and been a pro 3 hours later, and I've been enjoying Ecamm since that time. And as you can see, there's a lot of moving parts.
Hey, Lim, that happened to me as well, Lim. When I figured out I didn't need a capture card, that sold me on Ecamm.
Yeah, man, because the capture card was like $600 in places, $400, and I wanted to do it for my church, but I was just like, that's a little bit. I felt irresponsible paying that much for that small adapter, you know. So I was like, okay, how can I go and produce this kind of level of work that I want to produce without having to pay so much? And when I found Ecamm, what's funny is as soon as I plugged in my camera and my USB cable onto my MacBook Pro 2015, and I had this image come out, I was like, wow, I look legit, right? I look legit. And as soon as I thought, yeah. So I thought, oh my God, I was Lemjit. That's right.
Yeah,
thanks,
Lemjit.
Brant.
That's a new one.
Lemjit. So I was like, let me go ahead and start a talk show. So I did a talk show. I started a talk show right on that Monday. I'm one of those people that just jump in. I got no fear. I feel like as long as I'm not jumping out of airplanes, I'm not climbing the cliff sides of mountains, there's no mistake that really I can do live that I can't recover from or that I can learn from, right? I mean, there are mistakes that I cannot recover from. If I'm hanging on the cliff side of a mountain, I may die and there's no redo. All right. But this side, I just jumped in. I was like, hey, you know what? I look legit. People are going to believe me when I'm talking. And yeah, since that time, since that Monday, that following week, I've been going live. And so let me show you guys around a little bit.
Let's see what you got. Let's start with what Doc says is always most important. The audio, right? You got to sound good.
Yeah, so my sound, it's interesting for me because I had actually thought about doing some podcast work before the pandemic. And so I had bought Zoom H6, all right? And let me show you guys here. Let me go and let's go with this one. All right, so the Zoom H6, all right, is right there. And actually, I bought that for podcasting. I was ready to record. I was looking forward to doing that. And then what happened was, the pandemic happened, and I realized that this thing actually interfaces with the computer. And so it was an audio interface. Obviously, I did not think about it at that time. In fact, I had it in the box still because I wasn't going doing podcasts yet. And then when the pandemic happened, I always been in that mindset that a good audio can keep alive a bad video, but a bad audio can kill good video. Right. And so I always thought, let me just go ahead and do that. In fact, I was using this Zoom with the native microphone here by itself until I decided to upgrade a little bit so that I could put the microphone in my mouth and not have all these dials and these buttons up against my face, if you know what I mean. So I got this in, and I got the AT2020 from Audio-Technica, which I later picked up. And looking to hopefully level up on that soon, and that's how I.
It's a great sound.
How I do my audio
sounds
right
good.
now. Well, thank you, sir. I want to make sure that I am always monitoring my levels in this audio interface because sometimes I have a tendency to get really excited, and it can peak. So I always look at it in the levels. So sometimes the Ecamm the Ecamm audio levels is not intended for us to really monitor our audio. So I'm making sure that I'm monitoring in the audio interface.
One thing I love about that story is I'm the same way. I had all my professional video equipment from years ago that was just sitting around, and I have a Zoom HN4, which I've used for everything, and it interfaces with the computer, and it does all that. And I kind of forgot that it did that. I did it for recording remote gigs, So repurposing, for one, it's awesome that you're able to repurpose the gear that you're using professionally, but also use it in streaming. But also just a shout out to Zoom products, because they have longevity, and the way they're built, they can be used so many different ways. That's a no-brainer for me, is to buy Zoom recorders, because they're just awesome.
And they have a whole line of audio interfaces that can actually go to 8-track, sometimes for really kind of live bands and things of that nature. So it's a really good brand when it comes to audio interfaces, when it comes to portability or a desire to be portable. So, it's nothing that I thought about, obviously, until the pandemic happened. But I'm in the Doc Brock school of thought about tinkering. We just tinker until everything falls apart, and we learn from it, and then we upgrade and do all the things that we need to do. But ultimately, the desire is to always glow up, right?
Right. That's what you want. Saying the glow up, let's get to the next section, which is your camera, and your lens that you're using.
Yeah, so the camera that I'm using right now is actually a Nikon Z6. So it's something that not many people use. It is a fairly expensive camera. In regards to live streaming, you don't need to spend this kind of money. I go to Amazon and I talk about my live streaming gear, and I tell them what I'm using. I say we're using a Nikon Z6 paired with a Sigma 35 1.4, and I go through the dynamics of why I use what I use, and go through the bokeh and the separation and the 1.4 and all the other dynamics and all the other physicalities that make what an image is right now. But I realized just the use case, it's $1,600 used, this camera. And though I'm using it, I don't promote it to be used by folks, because you don't need that kind of expense, right? There are other cameras that are very expensive. You can use them for live streaming, but it's not necessary to use them for live streaming, because, hey, you know what? There are less expensive, more affordable cameras that can actually do what my Z6 is doing right now at 35 1.4. So, but that's what I'm using. Nikon Z6 35 1.4. Around me now, I use my my kind of second body cameras that I used to use for photography. There's actually two of them. So I have, for this BTS, or behind the scenes shot, I'm actually using a D750 paired with a 2470 Nikon 2.8, and that's a DSLR, and it's actually connected via HDMI to a cam link.
So this is the camera that's shooting what we're seeing right now.
Right, exactly. And I'm actually using the cam link because it went down in price. Finally, it finally lost its nerve and went back down to a more commendable price at $129 when I bought it. It's now at $109 or $115 now. So anybody can use it. And also overhead, I am using the same type of camera, a D750, also with my Loa 15mm macro. This is an ultra wide macro. It's like 1 inch. You can actually see my ring, and I use that for I use it for details in weddings and things of that nature. So, but it is ultra wide, so I like to use it just so that I could have kind of like a behind the scene type of situation happening there. And it's good for me when I'm doing Amazon Live. I always feel like when you look a little bit teched up, people will think you know what you're doing. So
There you go. I love it. I love it, Lem.
That's what we do that for. Just the 3 camera angles, just to give people a chance, or just a thought process that, hey, these are some of the things that I can do for my streaming, and it makes it a very exciting and fun way to go stream. Yeah, man.
It's engaging. So what about your lights? What kind of lights do you have?
Oh yeah, man. That is an interesting one, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights on right now.
7 lights, Lem?
7 lights.
Is that your secret? For your youth, this is the youth secret. Add more lights.
I need 5 more
now,
lights.
Now, Brant, I know, does some photography a little bit. Doc is on. Doc is on in the chat over in YouTube, and I know he's thinking, "Oh God, this guy is really a photographer." But it's several reasons why. And let me go ahead and just stand and bring the 2470 out a little bit, because I do have it zoomed in. So give me 1 minute, all right?
Okay. This is incredible, Brant, to be able to have Lem come on and kind of show his setup, and he gets it all the way right for us. I'm learning a lot today, but while he does that, of course, we have some links in the description that people can do some trial versions of Ecamm and trial versions of TubeBuddy.
All right, so let's take a look at what we're looking at here. Yeah, I don't do much, a lot about practical lighting, but I do like to light the room a little bit. Let me showcase the back end of this thing. Thankful for the Ecamm camera switcher that is in the app itself, or the software itself. So anyhow, so when it comes to lighting, you obviously have to consider. I talk about 4 things when it comes to lighting. Okay, 4 things when it comes to lighting is shadows, and shaping, separation, and then kind of the scene. All right, so the shadows first has to be treated. You have to have your face or your person lifted from the shadows. So when it comes to lighting, when it comes to photography, it's not even light, it's more about dealing with shadows. And so when you're considering light, you have to first deal with the initial shadow or initial thing that causes you to be underexposed, and that is the key light. So you have to have a key light. In a room like this where there are several windows, obviously I can run a live in the morning with just the ambient light. But the issues with ambient light is that it does deal a little bit with your contrast situation. It does flush you out a little bit. It takes away a lot of the contrast, since the light is streaming evenly to every spot of the room. You know, I have about 9 windows here. I'm in a corner, so the light is coming in from all sides. When the light is coming in from all sides now, you get a flat light and you get an even light, and there is no real places of contrast. And the only way you can actually add contrast to your light when you are in a window-filled room is to tailor the light that the camera is reading manually. All right, so you have to tell the camera how you want it to look. Okay, so if you want to, now this room is a little long. It is about 12 feet behind me, or maybe about 10 feet behind me, so the light can fall off a little bit. If it does come in, there is a little bit light fall off, and there's a little bit more shadows in the back than it is up in the front. But the contrast that I want to see from the lighting is really not going to be there if I just let the ambient light take control of my lighting. And so the first thing I have to do is I have to tell the camera how I want it to view my scene. And that is through the in-camera setup, in-camera tweaks, and the exposure triangle. Okay, and I don't have too much time in order for me to break that down, but pretty much you just have to deal with your ISO, your shutter speed, and your aperture. All of those things have to come into play to make sure that your light, the way you want it, is set before you introduce the artificial light. So you want to put yourself in the shadows when there is light. You want to put yourself in the shadows and then use artificial lighting to lift you from that shadow. When that is done, then the contrast begins to happen on the back, and you begin to be pushed forward, in a sense, in your imaging. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure you have your key light. You have to look exposed properly on camera. Your scene has to be properly exposed. You've got to be properly exposed. People got to see your face, right? The second thing then is because now you want the light to come in such a way that it actually creates dynamics of your face, that your face contours. And how is the contour seen? The contour is seen by the shadows that are cast by the bony prominences of your face. And so if the light is coming to the right, then your nose will cast a shadow to the left. Now, depending on how you want to light it, you have to create a fill light that's coming on the other side. And that fill light I'm actually using, as you guys can see on my left here, this is the fill light that I'm using just to push a little bit off the shadows that my key light or my main light is causing as it is coming from an angle. But because I want to be also fancy, I want to have another light just a little bit behind me here, this light here, and that is just a rim light, and that's actually a shaper. All right, it shapes my body so that the light now pushes over on my edges and causes them to be shaped. So you're talking about shadows, shape, and then you want to create a separation. That separation is brought to you by backlighting, or I'm using right now is a hair light that's a little behind you, so that it now it creates a silhouette of you, or kind of wraps you in that light and outlines your body and separates you from the background. When you are trying to create contrast imagery, that means your background is going to be darker than your foreground. But if you don't have the backlight, you are going to your back is going to fall in, especially if you're wearing dark clothing, things of that nature. You're going to blend in to the background. So a light that is facing you will push you off the background and create a separation for you. And once you're separated, you're now 3D. So that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be 3D when it comes to your imagery. And of course, now the other two lights, actually 3 lights, are all facing the wall, and that is just to create my scene lighting. All right, so those are the 4 things.
I absolutely love it, man.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I just went crazy.
The photographer talking about lighting to be able to get a great image. I mean, what more can you ask, Brant?
I think I need like 10 more lights now.
I know it, right? I got to figure out how to do it. I'm looking here.
Up.
Like, I need to bring my hair light down some. I'm thinking about it, man. Great information, Lim. While I have you on, I started saying you stream a lot. Can you tell the people how they can catch you online streaming?
Bro, I actually just wrote up my schedule for this week. So tomorrow I'm going to be with Kirk at his show at youtube.com/Kurt Nugent. We're going to be here at 8 p.m. We're going to talk about Amazon Live as well as the other things that I've just shared with you guys right now. But I am available online on my own channel, and you can just search #LemDrops, and you'll find me there. I'll be on Clubhouse in Doc's room, the Let's Get Live club room, on 11 o'clock this Tuesday. We're going to be talking about scheduling that actually matters. Wednesday, I'm off. But on Thursday, we will be going live for the Let's Get Live Corporation, which I am pumped. I am so excited about it. That's our first live since our since our inaugural launch, our company launch.
That's cool,
We are going to be going live. Yeah, man. We're going to be going live 2 p.m. Myself, David Blackman, Diana Gladney. I think even Doc's going to be there. Maybe even India will be there. We're going to be going live at 2 p.m. on the Let's Get Live YouTube page there. And then back again at 3 p.m. on Amazon Live. On Tuesdays, before I forget, Tuesdays at 5 p.m., I actually joined with Jim Fuss, Jim Fuse, Chris Stone, Chris P. Giles, and we call ourselves the Amazon Bros, and we do a deep dive on Amazon Live. So for those that are new to Amazon Live or wondering what it is or wondering how they can level up their Amazon Live scene, if you are in that space, you need to go and be with us Tuesday at 5 p.m.
So let me ask you this question. Actually, this is what I want to do, Brent, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
We have gone way over our time today, and a lot of that has been my fault, so I apologize to you, Brent. But I want to continue the conversation with you on Clubhouse, if you don't mind. We do have a room established with the stream show, and I'd love for people to be able to come on and ask you questions. And hopefully, Jerry, if you're on, we can probably have you come through as well. I want to be sure that we are timely tonight. We had Michael David Roberts on, Jerry Seigle, and then Lemuel. And I appreciate you guys willing to give, number one, the information you have. Like, your setup is awesome. Lemuel, you stream multiple times a week, and the information that you have, people need to know. Like, Michael, it's his first day today streaming, and then we have you on that stream multiple times. I think that's awesome. And then to have Jerry on today to talk about his product to actually help people stream if they want to use a mobile device. Brent, I don't know what else we could ask for when it comes to actually doing a show other than preparing for next week, right?
I mean, I think we're giving people a lot of good information. You got a lot of good people to follow. You got to learn about lighting. You learn about apps. You learn about filmmaking, and you talked about our community. Everybody's been more than talkative in the chat, and I think it was a great show. Thank you very much for all that you do. Even though we had the little hiccup, you handled it like a pro.
Well, I do appreciate that. Now, I want everybody to be sure they go through our description of the show. All right, so we have the TubeBuddy link for the trial. We have the Ecamm link for the trial. We also have our Buy Me a Coffee. So if you see there and you want to support the show, that's an easy way to support the show. And I want to thank everybody that's been in the comments that are actually helping us along the way of having a great show. You guys mean a lot. And definitely shouts out to the Ecamm family and Miss Katie from Ecamm as well. Thank you so very much. I think I got them all out. Did I forget anything?
No, just make sure you catch up with all the other Ecamm shows and the Ecamm network. I know we're running a little bit late, so we don't have to run through all those, but you got a lot of shows here on Ecamm, and follow all those. If you're in the Ecamm community, stream more, comment more, ask questions. That's the best thing about Ecamm is the community.
There you go. And we're here for the community as well. Thank you guys for watching us tonight. See you in Clubhouse. Come on over. I'm starting the room like right now. You actually hear my voice, so I'll see you in just a second. The stream show, after show Q&A, come through and we can talk together. Lem's already in the room with me.